So the handshakes as the players go along the line. Let me remind you of the teams. You'll see it at the bottom of your screen. Much has been written and made about Neil Lennon this week, but he's played it pretty low-key.
I think he always does. You know, he has the odd moment of temper throwing tantrums, but I think he's been a real player for Celtic, and he's made a real contribution to Celtic's success over the last 5, 6, 7 years. And you know, I know him personally off the pitch, and he's a very different animal off the pitch than when he seems on the pitch. He's an absolute gentleman, and you know, let's hope he's remembered for that.
Well, two players had started all 5 Scottish Cup five for Dunfermline this season. Jim O'Brien is sitting in the stands as a Celtic player, at least Phil Maguire, and he's on the bench. Neil Lennon there played his 300th match for Celtic against Kilmarnock recently. £5.75 million paid for him, a budget that only Stephen Kenny can dream about. Life in the First Division may be hard, but he can go out with a bang for this season today.
He'll certainly get it hard at Firhill next year, I can assure him of that.
Vinegar of Hesselink, he knows what it's like to win the cup in his homeland. He does have the longest name of anybody in the two sides, 23 letters in his name. John Joel Perry Dumby came close with just the 21. The atmosphere again, building wonderfully well. Jim McIntyre missed out 2 years ago, but the man who won the Scottish Cup on his 25th birthday is looking for another celebration. His 35th birthday was 2 days ago.
And I'll ask you a question, if he gets a penalty today, do you think he'll dink the goalie? No chance.
Got to hope.
No chance.
Got to hope. I tell you what, he'd settle for getting a penalty. Greg Shields stands there alongside Kenny Clark, our referee. Great moments, Dunfermline modelling the new kit, the old black look, which will be used in Europe as well next season. There's always time for smiles. Kenny Clark, along with Keith Sorby, Neil Brand and Ian Brines. Not quite sure what's taking Greg Shields so long to decide what he wants to do. Well, you'd think as a captain he would know.
Well, there's not a breath of wind. I don't know what the situation is there.
Neil Lennon, what a moment for him. He'll hand the pennant to the near side, then he'll take the walk to make the last Celtic huddle of his Celtic career.
Dunfermline forming a little huddle there as well.
So Neil Lennon slowly goes back towards the Celtic huddle. Dunfermline in their huddle. Celtic, who didn't lose back-to-back matches under Gordon Strachan last season, could do so for the 3rd time this season, having lost at Easter Road last weekend. But it was a shadow side, and these Celtic fans let their players know what support they have for them, just like the Dunfermline fans off to our left.
Well, I'm just thinking Hampden put a little bit of stick in the replay in the semi-final, but when it's a full house for us, you know yourself, international games, the bigger games we've done here, it's a marvellous atmosphere.
Kenny Clark, our referee, wants them to change round. Since the cup was last in Dunfermline hands, Celtic have won it 14 times out of the 38 finals. Amazing. Rangers with a dozen, only Aberdeen and Hearts have won it more than once. It would mean so much for the men in black. But don't be fooled, the champions want to do the double. It didn't happen down south. They want to make sure it happens up north. Kenny Clark taking charge of his 3rd Scottish Cup final. He's been 2 Scottish Cup finals as the 4th official, but he's back once more in the middle, and Kenny Clark gets ready to get us underway. The 10th Scottish Cup 2007. These teams may have finished at contrasting ends in the SPL, but all are equal in the eyes of the cup. Celtic favoured to take the trophy home, but Dunfermline start on equal footing, and they hope to banish the reality of relegation to the back of their minds. Now we'll challenge on Nakamura. He's been the star of so many shows for Celtic this season.
Well, I think, Paul, it's interesting on the other side of the pitch. Adam Hamill versus Aidan McGeady. I wonder how many nutmegs they'll try during the game, how many will come off, but certainly the two of them are loaded with talent.
Last season's Scottish Cup final winning captain Stephen Presley plays it forward. Vinegar of Hesselink, little hesitation on the Dunfermline defence, which they turn back by Young. Taylor on the far side, McGeady loses out to Shields. Neil Lennon challenged immediately. Well, we know how dangerous Neil Lennon can be sometimes, so two players moving in very, very quickly. Mark Burchill goes to state his case. He felt he was innocent.
Well, I think if only one Dunfermline player had went in, they might have got away with that, but the two of them clattered Neil Lennon at the same time.
I'll tell you what, Dunfermline aren't holding back. They're certainly going for it. And Darren Young, well, he knows plenty about football, Darren Young, and how good midfield players can play. He's out there to stop them.
Well, definitely, particularly if Paul Hartley, as I've said, does get that licence to surge forward. It makes him such a dangerous midfield player.
McManus forward, very good of Hesselink. Sonzo, Perret, Doumbé. We'll go with Doumbé for the Scottish Cup final. Picked up onto Nakamura. Quickly down to McGiddy. Again, solid challenge very quickly across. Scott Wilson.
That was good play, and you saw, I just said a second ago, you saw Paul Hartley surging right through the centre of the goal there. If he'd have got that ball in the box, he was on to maybe stick one in.
First corner of the afternoon. Nakamura to deliver. Nakamura looks to see who his options are. Swings it in, the goalkeeper gets a fist on it. Adam Hamill will go across. McGiddy chases him down. Hamill away, looking for Burchill. Good early touch. Shouts for Hamill to come and gather. Hamill goes past Lennon and tries to go through Lee Naylor. Naylor held on well. There was a little late challenge there though from Adam Hamill.
Yeah, it's just a little bit enthusiastic. Adam Hamill just over on the ball. I thought perhaps Neil Lennon just checked him a little bit. You see him just overrun it there. Neil Lennon just checks him a little bit, and then it's a little bit high, but I think we'll let him away with that in the first minute of the cup final. I think it was the second one when he has a wee nip there.
Minutes gone, Dunfermline certainly snapping in and around Celtic. Ball forward, Shields turns the ball back in field. Hartley picks up. Hartley with the ball across, turned away by Wilson. Muirhead plays it away. McIntyre goes and chases him behind Presley. Burchill's made a good run. Early chance, Burchill with the opportunity, dragged it horribly wide. McManus was coming in to challenge him, but Dunfermline with the first opportunity of the game.
Well, Jim McIntyre showing Stephen Presley a clean pair of heels there. And Jim McIntyre's not known for his speed. After this, it's all about movement. The movement from Burchill's terrific. Really nice pass. Just drags the shot past. But I tell you what, that's a decent chance in the first 3 or 4 minutes of a cup final.
Well, he used to score goals for fun for Celtic. His manager not seeing the funny side that time. McCunny. Neatly out wide, Hamill hugging the touchline. Past one, goes past Naylor, the ball's gone out of play. He's already shown he's a big danger.
Well, he's a real threat, and the thing is, the earlier he gets the ball, the earlier he receives the ball, the more time he's got up to get ahead of speed. You know, then he can really go at players and commit players, get to the byline, and then try and get decent crosses in the box.
Oh, Scott Morrison playing a cup final. He wondered for a while if he would play again with a horrendous injury. The under-21s in Austria. For well over a year. Dunfermline with a chance. Putting the ball across. Boric, short of putting it in his hands, couldn't have made it any easier for Arthur Boric.
No, Scott Morrison's capable of far better than that. Usually his delivery is very good, and Muirhead was in 5 yards of space in the back area there.
Kenny Miller chosen to lead the line along with Venegood of Hesselink. Bambo with the header, preferred to Maguire at the back. So Maguire may feel a little hard done by sitting on the bench. McGiddy on to McManus. An even start to the cup final. And it's probably the start that Dunfermline would have settled for.
Yeah, I think Dunfermline started well. They certainly looked confident.
Lennon looked a little slow there. McIntyre on to Muirhead. Muirhead and Morrison will bomb up and down the left hand side all day if they get the chance. Bamba on to Muirhead. Back to Morrison. An easy one for Stephen Presley. Lennon with a forward pass. Venegood of Hesselink closed down quickly and illegally by Scott Wilson. Normally a bit better than that, Scott Wilson.
Yeah, just a little notch from the back there. I mean, Dunfermline are showing they're very committed in the opening minutes. 4 or 5 fouls.
booked in the first match against Hibs. And the replay allows Scott Wilson to play in this game. Bamba holding into Vennegoor Heslett. The ball breaks to Hartley. Lennon to McGeady. Hamill provides the obstacle.
I think Bamba's really lucky there. I think he's got two arms round Vennegoor Heslett right at the edge of the box. And if he keeps doing that, he'll give away a free kick, and you know what Nakamura's capable of.
I never thought Stephen Kenny has stressed these defenders that nothing should be given away anywhere close to the ball.
I tell you what, as a manager, you can stress as much as you want when they cross that white line. Sometimes they do whatever comes in their head.
So Young missed the last final. He's happy to be playing after a little scare last weekend. Shields, just couldn't link with McIntyre that time. And again, just a little bit over-eager. Dunfermline Jim McIntyre that time getting a word from Kenny Clark. Kenny Miller, good link-up play. Neatly done by Celtic once more. Nakamura playing his part. Although Doumbé couldn't reach the ball. McCunny. Good run by Moorhead. Steps away from Lennon. Burchill takes the touch, he's going to take on Presley. He tried to pull the trigger, Hartley in behind him, the referee in perfect position.
And importantly, Mark Burchill didn't claim for the penalty kick.
Great challenge from Paul Hartley. Celtic have looked a little static. Can McGeady make them flow? Not this time. Young to McCunny. Bamba on to Scott Morrison. Comes it under control well, Scott Morrison. McIntyre battling with Naylor. Well, that's a couple of times that Dunfermline have done really well to get forward.
Well, here it is here. I mean, no, he just tripped before Paul Hartley got there, and I thought that the key to it was if a striker thinks he's been brought down the box, he'll be at the referee within 1 second, and he never claimed for it.
Wilson going back. And Heslett coming in, and then the Dutchman, Doris de Vries, very bright this afternoon. Bamba can only find Naylor. Hartley to Presley, looking to win back-to-back Scottish Cup finals. The last man to do that was Neil McCann at different clubs. Miller. Away to Lennon. McIntyre it very, very quickly. Very un-Paul Hartley-like pass. Forcing down the line, but Nakamura gave him no room whatsoever.
I do think the way Dunfermline have started means they're not thinking about their last two defeats. They're relegated. They've started very well.
The man of the match prize is to come and see Scotland against Lithuania on the 8th of September. Hospitality for two. You can agree with the man of the match and the other lucky one chosen. Ball into the box. Miller tries to lay it off. McCunny up there, comes off Wilson's. May have come off his arm or his shoulder there. Didn't know much about it. Now Doumbé trying to play it forward. Muirhead in there. Lennon looking for Nakamura. He's at no space so far. Morrison gets in ahead of Doumbé. Well, they wanted a free kick. Morrison. Doumbé stayed down. And Nakamura. Doumbé resurrects himself. Now to Lennon. Looking for Hartley. Tight by Celtic, keeping good possession. Doumbé to Nakamura. Little nutmeg by Nakamura. Gets away from Muirhead and Morrison. Runs out of hand and turf, but again the danger is clear from the Japanese.
Well, it was incredibly tight, but there's one guy in that pitch that can handle tight situations. It's Nakamura, and a little nutmeg then just overruns it there trying to get to the byline.
Wasn't 100% sure of the lip reading, but I think he's picked up one or two words of English.
This is the BBC, Paul, come on.
Doris de Vries yet to concede a goal in the Scottish Cup. Consecutive clean sheets against Hibs, and he's done particularly well. Kept Hearts at bay, Partick Thistle at bay as well. It was Roddy McKenzie who started the first Scottish Cup match of the season against Rangers. He's on the bench. Bamber looks for it, wins the header well. It's very good at Hessling. Here comes Hamill, plenty of support. The Liverpudlian lad in the crowd. Brings it on to Muirhead, good touch. Shoots can't get there ahead of Stephen Presley. Presley shaped it on to Kenny Miller, former international teammates. Couldn't do too much there. To Miller. Nakamura looking for it, left foot, played it forward, little touch on to Kenny Miller. Miller's away from Wilson, De Vries has to come out. Good goalkeeping. Excellent play from Doris De Vries. Good play from Celtic.
It was, and you know, you've got to salute Kenny Miller's honesty there, because some players may have went down. I think he's just onside there. Just here they come close to a collision, could have went down, but continued on.
Stephen Presley wants his goalkeeper. That's exactly what he does. Well, Celtic have kept it tight against Dunfermline this season. Kenny Miller has scored. Scored back in March, the 2-1 win. All three meetings have been won by Celtic by a single goal. It's something of a moral victory for Dunfermline. First season sharing the Premier League with Celtic, that they've not lost a single match by more than a goal. They've been on the wrong end of a few. There was a little kick out there by Doumbé on Wilson. They played against each other before, but Scott Wilson looked slow to introduce himself. 20 consecutive cup ties unbeaten for Stephen Kenny, a cup winner with Derry City. What a double it would be if he could do it here today.
It would be, and I really appreciate the way he set the team up, because Adam Hamill, I thought the two white players would be asked to track back all the time. Adam Hamill is to a certain extent, but he's playing so far up the pitch, Adam Hamill. It's terrific to see.
McGiddy's got pace to burn. Moving forward, steps inside Shields, some help from McCunney. McGiddy, well, felt he was being manhandled. There's Adam Hamill. Easy one for Presley. Shields to Hamill again. McGiddy might just guide that past Naylor. Naylor does enough. All these calm, unfussy players, Lee Naylor. McManus, well, robbed by McIntyre. McIntyre can't get back to his feet. A little stumble there from Burchill. Well, that's a rare thing. Poor defending from Celtic and Stephen McManus.
Yeah, it was. I think McManus, I think it's him that actually recovers and just gets a foot in here. Just there, just gets the tackle, and it's actually a great tackle, but it was him that caused the problem in the first place.
Good positioning again from Kenny Clark as well, just to make sure he was in the right place to see exactly what was going on. Some people were expecting a one-sided Scottish Cup final. It's certainly not come to pass in the opening 15 minutes of the match. Here's McGiddy. Doumbé, all sorts of room. Morrison has to try and come out. Crossover, Bambo ahead that behind. Good defending from Bambi. Knew the threat was behind him. Very good at Hessling.
It was. It's just very good at Hessling. Just slipped as the ball's coming in the box. You just see him slipping there to get a little knock there, or he would have been on that to attack it. But it's good defending by Bamba. Good position he took up.
Stephen Presley got that vital goal in the Cali Stadium. His first for Celtic, up once more. Swung in. Not too clever by Dunfermline, but effective in the end. McCunney. And Burchill with the challenge. McGiddy to Naylor. And Dunfermline closing down very tightly indeed. Bamba on to Hamill. McIntyre, well, Burchill was way off him. Lennon, as he's done countless times for Celtic, just picking the ball up off the central defence. Bamba thinks that's going to run out of play. I tell you what, he was taking a little bit of a chance there. He says he wants to play in the Premiership next season, Bamba. Not quite sure he's ready for that, but looked cool there.
You're not quite sure, I'm totally sure. But you know what, he did well there, he did take a chance. He has got a hell of a physique to get round to try and shepherd the ball out like that.
Oren Strachan perched on the steps. If I look up, possibly as he perched on the bottom step. Now he's halfway up. Just taking a few notes, doesn't have too far to run down. That'll break for Burchill. They'll have to get it out to Muirhead. Stephen Presley. A little word forward. It's McManus to come and take. Past captain Greg Shields. 13th Scottish Cup tie. Young to Morrison. Just too heavy that time from Muirhead, although Neil Lennon just a little bit fortunate. Nakamura delightful. Over to McGeady. Well, if it moves, Scott Wilson's hitting it. If it's not moving, Scott Wilson's hitting it. He's going in very physical.
Yeah, he needs to be careful as well, because you don't want to book in as a centre back the first 20 minutes of a cup final.
Nakamura forward. Wilson that time timed the challenge well. Two number 9s collide. Burchill gets the better. Here comes Hamill. Step over, as you've come to expect. He'll show all the tricks. How effective can he be? Shields. Comes in support. Tries to flick it into the box. And Boric just yells for it. That's the problem. He doesn't always deliver.
No, he doesn't. But you saw there again the position he took up. He actually just kind of cheated in that area. Let his midfield man go. Said to Greg Shields, "You handle it." And got good possession.
Bamba comes across. Vinegar Hesselink spoiled that for himself there. He was going to get a throw in for his side, but he just came into the Ivory Coast under-21 internationalist, and that's why Kenny Clark has awarded the free kick to the Pars.
Well, that's one thing he's equipped with for the top level. Pace and physique. He's certainly got that, there's no doubt.
There's the race, just 26 years old. Alternated a few times with Roddy McKenzie. He's turned out to be the number one choice for Stephen Kenny. Presley wins ahead of McIntyre. On to Nakamura. Over to Lennon. Lennon, so familiar, just taking the ball, knocking it back. And again, a little step over that time. He's running out of play. Good pressure from Kenny Miller.
Kenny Miller's biggest asset, and also he's the biggest criticism of him. He always running in the wider areas, but perhaps he should be looking more to get in the box. But a selfless worker.
The long throw dealt with by Young. Comes out to Hamill. And it's time to control it. Burchill goes in with a little robbery. McCunney moves it out to Hartley. The ball will break Dunfermline's way. Burchill sends it Muirhead. Might be in a bit of space here. Presley will get in ahead. And then he goes to Arthur Boric. Long ball, Shields kept his eye on it. Hugh McGeady was right on his shoulder. Had to be perfect.
And he was, but it was great movement. Aidan McGeady took him underneath the ball, and a lovely pass from Naylor. Spun in behind and nearly got on that.
Yeah, there's a world of difference between a hopeful long ball and an aimed long pass.
Exactly,
like that.
yep.
Naylor back to Miller. And defending well. And Celtic have the third corner of the afternoon. Scored just 3 goals in the first half of the last 12 matches. Celtic enjoying the bulk of possession. They've struggled to find the net in the first half. Nakamura delivers. Well, everybody will claim for it, but it's clearly another corner.
A great corner, but excellent defending. I think it was Darren Young.
Darren Young just standing a couple of yards in front of the post. Muirhead behind him. Kenny Miller in between. And Agura Hesselink will make the late run. And it comes. Young gets the touch. McCunney just happy to sweep it clear. Good ball from Neil Lennon. And space for Doumbé. Taken down by Miller. McIntyre back help defending, and De Vries should get up there. Hartley puts him under pressure, but a free kick will be awarded. Nakamura knew it. Paul Hartley was trying to claim the goal.
Well, I don't even need to see it. When I saw that ball going up there, I knew the referee was going to give a foul. No matter what happened, the referee was always going to give a foul. It's just Jim McIntyre a punt up in there. Paul Hartley's led with his arm. It's a good decision by Kenny Clark.
And all credit to Nakamura, he didn't even bother trying to celebrate. He knew that wasn't going to be his 12th goal of the season. Won well by Young. Hamill scampers away from him. The boy from Bootle pops the ball back to McCunney. Shields. McCunney once more. Burchell's made a good run. Throws McManus out, steps past him. Young waiting for it. McIntyre tries to bring it into his path. Young is judged to be onside. It looked close. Shields came in there as well, but calm defending by Lee Naylor. Young slides in again. He just caught Nakamura there. Is that a free kick? It is. And, well, Darren Young is going to get a word from the ref.
Yeah, I think Darren Young the run's just the wrong angle there. I thought he might have been offside. Half a chance, but again, Jim McIntyre showing how good he is in the air. They'll have a little knockdown.
Muirhead was available as well.
I tell you, he's been available the whole game around the back area of the box.
Cam from Bamba. And being fouled. Well, Bamba looks innocent. Look at the referee, and he was caught. From Scott Wilson. Morrison to McIntyre. Muirhead neatly on to Burchell. Muirhead's made a good run as well, and the offside flag is up. Tell you what, Dunfermline have started well.
They have. That must have been a really tight one as well, because I thought McManus had stepped back a little bit too much there.
Vinegar, Hesselink and Wilson. The race started to come for it, but Scott Wilson had to finish what he'd started. Doonby, just his 5th Celtic appearance, plays it in. Vinegar, Hesselink, little push there on Morrison. Play on, says the ref. Stephen Presley grants that to McIntyre. Morrison took a little blow on the hand as Muirhead plays it away. Burchell trying to go through too. Was that a push from Naylor? Yes, it was. Good spot from Kenny Clark. Looked like it from here.
Yeah, and Kenny Clark was out of position because the ball had been transferred forward so early. I think it was a foul. I think Naylor comes in and nudges in the back, comes in at the wrong angle there. Great run from Burchell there.
Well, Mark Burchell, so much was expected of him. He was capped half a dozen times for his country. He turned down a big offer with Birmingham City and then lost his way.
Yeah, but there's still time. There's still time for Mark Burchell. He certainly started the game reasonably well today.
Boric, 27-year-old World Cup goalkeeper, has a little look. Scott Morrison's got a great strike on him. Yet to score for Dunfermline. Hamill too might fancy his chances. Young comes forward to join the wall. The two players almost staring each other out there. Hamill and Morrison. Boric poised. Morrison goes for goal! Arthur Boric was quite happy where that was going.
Yeah, looked very unperturbed there, isn't he? I thought it was a decent effort. Didn't get it down quick enough, but I think if he had, Arthur Boric would have put his cap on it.
I'm just wondering, from that kind of distance, really it's got to be power.
It has got to be power, unless you can hit it with that type of bend with power, a la David Beckham. There's not many players in the world who can do that. Nakamura as well.
Dunby, former Auxerre player, he's won the French Cup with Auxerre. A very experienced fullback. Forward into Vinegar, Hesselink, another cup winner in his home country. Holds up well. Wilson's against him. Ball break from McCunney. McIntyre, he does that so often. McIntyre wins impossible headers. Burchell just not up to support him. Good play by Morrison. Burchell plays it in field. And the free kick, Neil Lennon on to the ground.
I think it was a tackle from the back, but I think Mark Burchell clearly played the ball, and I think perhaps that's what Kenny Clark's explaining to him.
I just wonder if Mark Burchell's a little rusty. He's not actually played that often. That was perhaps a surprise that he got the nod as well. I'm sure it's one in the last 9 he's started.
Well, Kenny Clark couldn't have been in any better position, could he? He can't plead his innocence because Kenny Clark's 2 yards from him.
Presley forward, Vinegar Hesselink wins the header. Shields got turned, eventually got back well. Vinegar Hesselink is slow to get up, but he's okay.
It's the amazing the amount Celtic talk about passing the ball, yet you know a lot of the time they get it forward early.
McGeady sees Dunby. Kimura wants it. Muirhead knows the dangers of getting too close. Everybody back behind the ball for the Pars. Lennon forward onto Miller. No way through so far for Celtic. Presley to Vinegar Hesselink. That was a delightful little touch, almost through to Paul Hartley, and if he got it, he was through.
It's another really well timed run with Paul Hartley. If he keeps making them, he'll get a bit of joy.
Solid by Shields. Here's McIntyre. Hamill inside, and McIntyre forced to go himself. Well, Naylor coming back unfairly, says the referee, and the free kick goes against him.
Harshly done by there. I thought he was quite cleanly took the ball there, but maybe coming in at the wrong angle again.
No goals so far in the match. It's been a mismatch usually between these teams. Celtic unbeaten in 23 of the last 25 against the Pars. Muirhead available, way wide. Ball drops down again. Dunfermline can't find him. Nakamura to Dunby. Delightful. Bamba stayed forward. Muirhead got it onto him. Now what can Bamba do as a left winger? That's why he's a central defender.
I mean, Bamba did really well initially, but you know, take the ball for a run. He's got the pace. That's you know, worry about crossing the ball when you get to the byline.
Yeah, just a premature cross, I think. It's almost like nobody wanted to go win it there. Hartley on to Lennon, an intriguing Scottish Cup final. Ball through, Miller offside.
He was offside. He held his run as long as he could and tried to bend it a little bit, but I think you can see there is just half a yard offside.
Shields with a long ball forward, looking for McIntyre again. Muirhead was available if the head flick was won. Celtic taking chances up against Muirhead. They have the ball. Miller takes it forward. Hartley's onside. McGeady's outside him. Young's coming back. Young does the job tremendously well. That's McGeady just got into Paul Hartley's eye line there.
I think it was the opposite. I thought Hartley got in. I think McGeady had the better angle to go and straighten up and get in at goal there.
Well, too many cooks or too many midfielders that time.
That's what it was, Paul. That's exactly what it was.
Stephen Presley onto Kenny Miller. Nakamura always looks so calm and unhurried. Miller, lovely turn. Swings it in the box. Vinegar Hesselink. The best chance of the match falls to the Dutchman. It's been 7 years since the Dutchman scored in the Scottish Cup final. Celtic will have to wait a little longer for the opener.
Well, I'm sorry, but this is an absolute sitter. I mean, people talk about Kenny Miller missing chances, but what about his touch there and his cross? Magnificent. Vinegar Hesselink hits the target there. Celtic are winning 1-0.
Like he's got 5 of the last 8 Celtic goals. With Giovanni van Bronckhorst for Rangers against Celtic in 2000 remains the last Dutchman to have scored in the Scottish Cup final. Vinegar Hesselink has had the best opportunity. Scott Muirhead didn't play before the semi-finals. Throws the ball in. McCunny just too high for McIntyre. That's a poor header. Hamill waits for it. Burchill is screaming for the ball. Hamill with his bag of tricks plays it in. Presley with a header away. Muirhead neatly sent back by Young. Here comes Morrison. The little dink cross, and Arthur Boric easily takes his 6-yard box. Celtic now flowing with McGeady. Young Goes in there, wins the ball, then was fouled. Well, they got him the second time. The referee allowing play to continue. Shields taken late that time. Referee not so lenient that time. Eddie McGeady in trouble.
It's frustration from Eddie McGeady. You know, he's not getting a lot of the ball. Therefore, when he does get it, he tries to do too much, and I think it's quite late there.
Well, Eddie McGeady sees the yellow card, the first of the final. Comes after 32 minutes.
That's a poor challenge. You know, I don't think there's any malice in it. I don't think he's that type of player. He's not a great tackler, but Greg Shields a vital player for Dunfermline. You know, if he has to go off, because it is a poor challenge, that's a sore one.
Well, it's a start in this final. I saw a couple of years ago, and Greg Shields certainly taken a sore one. He's had his fair share of injury and disappointment throughout his career.
Yeah, he's a terrific player as well. You know, he probably would have went higher in the game, possibly at a bigger club. I know Jimmy Calder would like him at Aberdeen, but he has been plagued by injuries. But you know, you saw in the semi-final his clearing tackle for Scott Brown, the goal line clearance was outstanding. And the best compliment you can pay him today is keeping Eddie McGeady really quiet, allowing Adam Hamill to surge forward.
These Dunfermline fans have plenty of hope. Stephen Kenny, just 35 years old, already has taken 3 Irish clubs into Europe. He'll take his first Scottish club into Europe as well next season. If they win the competition, they go around further on than they would if they don't. So it's important from that point of view as well.
Definitely. I mean, I don't know Stephen Kenny, never met him, but I've got to say he's impressed me since he's come to Scotland. Just the way he's conducted himself, and you know, the way he's had his team playing while they're in a relegation struggle, I think was marvellous.
5 points from the opening 15 matches was the problem in league terms when he took over. Wilson, a little bit of keepy-uppy. Orison's come through well. We've got Lennon and Doumbé. Burchill tries to get it down to McIntyre. Celtic not looking too comfortable at times at the back. Muirhead. Morrison has stayed forward. Muirhead and Morrison can interchange so easily. Hamill, if you were with us earlier, you would have heard his mum telling us she's put some money on him, scoring the first goal at 25-1. Dunfermline took the lead in these teams last met in the Scottish Cup final through Andrew Skerla. Muirhead just trying to go through too many players. Nakamura stopping. He knew the decision was going to come his way. Just a little tug.
Yeah, it was a tug. You know, Nakamura getting back there. Dunfermline put himself under a wee bit of pressure, and that's borne out with Nakamura defending deep in right back area. The systems of both teams are just cancelling each other out just now. You know, when Celtic have got the ball, their wide players push on. Same with Dunfermline, their wide players push on, and it's left 2v2 in the middle.
Final match competition. You could be here at Hampden for Scotland against Lithuania. No obvious candidates so far, perhaps. Nice touch by Wilson. On to De Vries. His 34th match for Dunfermline. He's looked so solid, and well, it's almost ironic that it was his mistake against the Inniscalli Thistle that was the catalyst to losing that day. Burchill has to chase after it. Good touch onto Muirhead. Muirhead rides the challenge. Well, he went down theatrically. Kenny Clark, not a fan of the arts, and that's a tough tackle. Doumbé's reacted on Burchill, and Doumbé certainly will be yellow carded for his reaction. Mark Burchill went in hard. Referee wants to speak to them both.
I think Doumbé will be yellow carded at the very least. I think he's taking a little kick there. I think Mark Burchill played the ball. It might have been a little bit naughty, but he certainly played the ball.
Well, Mark Burchill pleads his case. Now, Mark Burchill, I think, will see his name going into the book. The referee saying it was a scissor kick. Well, yellow cards for both. Doumbé did react very angrily. I think it was just because the Kenny Clark's in front of the Dunfermline fans. I think they wanted a red card. Kenny Clark just saying to Roddy McKenzie, you could get booked if you're standing there. Jean-Jacques Doumbé is yellow carded. 3 yellow cards in the match so far. We still await the opening goal. Celtic with the best opportunity. Vennegoor Hesselink with a header. They should have put inside the post. Celtic trying to break through. Hartley into the back of Wilson. Wilson just does enough. McIntyre to Muirhead. McIntyre will have to try and stretch for that, just not going to happen.
The thing is, when McIntyre pulls on to Stephen Presley, he's winning every header, isn't he? Any decent delivery, he's winning the ball in there all the time.
Mentioned that Celtic struggled to score goals in the first half of recent times. Dunfermline 3 goals in the last 21 SPL matches in the first half. Certainly not prolific. They've had a problem all season scoring goals. Then decisively it for Doonby. He's enough for Wilson, had more time than he realised. Morrison beaten by Miller. Wilson away. Nearer across. Presley. Well, that's a poor header from Stephen Presley. McIntyre going in there. He lifted his leg too. The referee might not have taken too kindly to that if he'd connected. A little bit of spice to the cup final.
I think it's been like that from the first minute. There's certainly challenges flying in. Presley
on to Doonby. Nakamura sends it for the Frenchman. One from Red. Great play from Miller. Oh, well read. That's the right back of captain Greg Shields on the left. He leaves the ground as he plays that forward. Good play, McIntyre. McCunney. Hamill. Young just yells at him to hold on, then he releases the ball for Burchill. Burchill looking all around him for a black jersey. Burchill drives it across. McGeady waiting in the D. Shows too much of that to McCunney. McCunney, well, it's a free kick all the way. And the referee wants a word, but we could see from here he was going for the ball, just missed time.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I don't think he didn't anticipate just how quick Aidan McGeady's feet were, and I don't think that's a booking. I really don't. Celtic's right back here is free all the time. Doomby's pushing on, and the film's getting a lot of joy in that channel.
Nakamura on to Lennon. Getting on to Doomby once more. Nakamura just drifting infield. Malice with the long ball. Miller tries to win it. Morrison can behind him. It's the simple things well. Scott Morrison. Then won by Burchill. McIntyre chases. Burch has been shown the inside. Benedict Hessling. Well, just fouling once more. It looked like it was fairly subtle, but the referee spotted it. Not too much to do so far. That's just one start this season, that against Hibs. He's been a terrific signing for Celtic.
That's right, but I think whilst it's been an intriguing game, I don't think there's been a lot of goal-mouth action, which is what the fans want.
Wilson for Hamill. Chest control. And off Naylor. Who then come in? Good challenge. And a good Hessling. Did he use his hand? No, said the referee. Let the Dunfermline players know he wasn't going to stop the game. Nakamura to Lennon. Half-time, 5 minutes away. Doonby, it should be forward of race. In fact, he'll just leave it. Poor ball from Doonby. He's moving forward down this right-hand side.
Well, Penn just telling him there, he trying to take his man on, try and get further closer to the byline to make it a more dangerous cross.
He was one of these players. I mean, he was brought in by Gordon Strachan. He just disappeared from view almost. They had Telfer and Caldwell in that particular role they could have, but I know Gordon Strachan was impressed with the way he had played in the reserves.
I don't think they've had a fullback that suits Nakamura as well as Telfer. I thought he suited Nakamura down the ground, just gave him it early and backed him up.
Family reasons, I think, for leaving Celtic early was the official line. McGeady looking for Vinegar and Hessling. Morrison across. Celtic continue to rack up the corners. Nakamura comes out wide to this right hand side to take. Nakamura in. De Vries comes up. Cal as well. And Greg Shields makes the run. Stephen Kenny just looking on. Oh, he's looking slightly concerned. I'm sure he'll be happy with the way that things have gone. A couple of chances. McIntyre plays the ball down. Here comes Hamill. Tries to get away from Hartley. Still going. Got away from Naylor. Naylor gets in the second time. Hamill just ran round him and just pulled him back. And again, Kenny Clark right there to award the free kick.
Adam Hamill claiming his innocence there, such as youth. Just the two hands there, Adam.
Tell you what, if he had a third hand, he would have used that as well. Offside flag up. Kenny Miller just got out on the far side. Just caught offside once more, Kenny Miller. It's a poor one, actually. He shouldn't really be caught offside looking along the line. So Dunfermline, 5 clean sheets in the last 8 matches. Have been hard to score on. Crucial in the SPL when it mattered, they did concede. Scottish Cup record has been excellent. Here comes McIntyre. Just got that caught in between his legs there. Hartley to Dumby. Poor from Celtic, just getting themselves a little rattled and providing Dunfermline again with some inspiration.
Well, definitely the confident you can play Dunfermline is. You know, this is a team that were relegated from the SPL against the runaway champions. Doesn't look that much in it today.
Here comes McCunny. Young yelling for the ball. It's on well past Burchill. He took his time before he cleared again, and that's just not the way you expect to see Celtic defend.
No, it isn't. I think Dumby's looked shaky from the first whistle.
Played well in his debut against Hearts. Played well last weekend too against Hibs. It's not been too good this afternoon. Morrison on to Muirhead. Here comes Burchill. Yelling for it was Hamill, but he's trying to get it into McIntyre. McManus across. Muirhead. And try and see that out. The turn of the powers in the final minute and a half. Adam Hamill come to this left-hand side. What an inspirational signing he's been. Bamba waits. Ball across, easily defended by Celtic. Will have to be aware of the pace. McGeady held up slightly by Morrison. Lovely touch though onto Hartley. Young's coming across. Hartley played it in, and Greg Shields did his job. Nakamura taking up a good position here.
He had, you know, it's a great run by Paul Hartley, but how many times have we seen Greg Shields make important interceptions in this cup run, not just today?
Burchill plays it past McIntyre. Hamill was looking for it. Hamill's drifted across this left-hand side for now, and again Celtic knock it away. And Dumby just been told by Stephen Presley, look, canvas down.
Well, I don't want to too hard now, but I think he's looked nervous. And I think positionally he's been poor in the first half.
So the 45 minutes have come and gone. Bamba plays it forward. McIntyre on the header, but Lennon will pick up. Naylor away again. Dunfermline take possession unchallenged. Bamba onto McIntyre, held it in well, laid it off. Here comes Young. Young plays it back to McIntyre. Only 2 in the box, now 4. McIntyre looking to deliver. Lennon against him. Swings the ball across. Dumby puts it down the middle. McCunny onto Morrison. Morrison thinks about the strike, gets it away. Decent effort from Scott Morrison yet to score for the Powers, but came up well.
Yeah, it's a great ball in the Jim McIntyre. I'm amazed the amount of space Muirhead gets around the back space almost every time. Morrison drives forward. I'm not sure if Boric missed this or just let it go. I think he just let it go. Fair play to the goalkeeper. Saw it was going past.
The referee, Kenny Clark, has decided that is it for the opening half. Scott Morrison's had a couple of efforts. Stephen Kenny will be pretty pleased with the way his team has played. Mark Burchill with an early chance after 4 minutes. Jan Vinagura Hesselink with the best chance though of the match came after half an hour. Jim McIntyre setting up Dunfermline. There was Burchill just dragging it wide. It was good play from McIntyre. He knew where Burchill was. Burchill perhaps with a half chance. Vinegar of Hesselink with a full fat version. Kenny Miller, delightful turn. The cross, well, Vinegar of Hesselink's been gobbling them up all season. The man with 18 goals couldn't make it, number 19. Disappointment there for the Dutchman. The Dutchman in goal was relieved. Half-time in the Tennis Scottish Cup final 2007. Dunfermline Athletic 0, Celtic 0. So the Cup final of 1961 required a replay. It's extra time and penalties today. The replay was won by Dunfermline. Celtic in 65. And then the last meeting of these teams in the Scottish Cup final 2004. When Dunfermline kicked off at the start of the second half 3 years ago. They led by 1-0 for Andreas Skerla, with a double from Larsson and one from Petrov. Gave Celtic a 3-1 win. The last goalless 90 minutes in the Scottish Cup final 17 years ago. Aberdeen against Celtic. Presley out on that far side. No changes at the half time to either side.
Not to the systems, Paul, exactly the same.
Scott Muirhead, over 3 years with Aberdeen, scored in both competitions for them. And the turn supplier, the long throw in, the back header came in from McIntyre, but well behind. A very quiet start to the second half around the stadium as well.
It is. Maybe the music didn't work there, Paul, but it is. It's a bit low key considering that, you know, the first half started. Dunfermline had 2 or 3 meaty challenges in the first couple of minutes.
So 4 out of 6 times Dunfermline have gone in at half-time in the Scottish Cup this season 0-0. They've yet to suffer defeat. Jim McIntyre with that wonderful penalty in the semi-final. 2 of his last 5 goals in this competition have won semi-finals for his clubs. Kilmarnock in 97 and Dunfermline in 2007. McCunny. Very tight on to Morrison. McIntyre holds off Presley. Morrison coming forward again. Muirhead behind them. Stroked across into McIntyre. Takes the touch. Does he have the angle? Just couldn't get there. Good tracking back from Paul Hartley. Jim McIntyre's taking a bit of a knock. That's a worry with the first corner of the second half for the Pars.
Yeah, it's a lovely ball inside. Jim McIntyre just trying to tee up on his left foot. I think he maybe kicked Paul Hartley's boot there, which can be a sore if you get the studs in the front of your foot.
Well, they got their first corner of the first half in the closing 90 seconds. They've got it in the opening 90 seconds of the second half. And it comes. Wilson was looking for it. Boric's touch. Young comes down to him, tried to drive, blocked by McGeady. Dunfermline putting some pressure on Celtic. Good effort from Young coming forward that time. Scott Morrison once more. Bamba has a target. Yet to score for Dunfermline. Solomon Bamba. Morrison in, that was poor. He hit the ground before he hit the ball there.
Yeah, that's inexcusable, particularly for a lad that does strike the ball very well. Just getting up a little bit of pressure there. Dunfermline now is just back to square one.
Stephen Kenny just trying to get on his message. Just had words half time. The 8th Dunfermline manager to take them to a major final, the 5th to take them to the Scottish Cup final. George Farm and Jock Stein, the 2 successful managers he's hoping to emulate today. Morrison, Nakamura ahead of him. What kind of play you want to be taking on, and that's why he'll rob you. Great play. Now Lennon back to Nakamura. Morrison gets back and makes amends. McIntyre lays it off to Burchill. Hamill's in good position. Young's made a terrific run if he can play that. Well, he holds up, plays it out to Muirhead. Back into Burchill. Burchill passed it to Doomby, no more than that. Lennon onto McGeady. Vinegar Hesselink. Come to Naylor. Patient from Celtic. Naylor to McGeady. McGeady looks up. Shields in front of him. Naylor yelling for the ball, but McGeady continues. Nakamura's in good space, and Hamill read that. Naylor bowled him over. Well, McGeady just seemed to take too long to make up his mind, decide what did he want to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's not had a lot of the ball today. I think he needs to make an impact in the next 4 or 5 minutes, because I see Derek Riordan out straight away at the start of the second half warming up. That may be a change Gordon Strachan to think about.
Lennon McGeady has always been thought of as a special player. I mean, he's played over 100 times for Celtic. He's only 21. That tells you all about his talent.
He has got wonderful talent. It's just about producing more consistently.
Well, Derek Riordan is warming up. Got on the score sheet at Easter Road last Sunday. His side couldn't hold on. It's the only time in the SPL this season he took the lead and didn't win. Just didn't get a point. Shields won the header, comes only as far as McGeady. Hamill trying to track him back, certainly held him up. Kenny Miller, Bamba kept his eye on the ball, good play from Bamba. Long throw, Naylor, heading good to Hesselink. Miller's taken up good position, Shields away. The bonus that the pass also falls to Muirhead. Hartley with a long ball. Vinegar Hesselink waiting for it. Bamba coming across to them as well. Vinegar Hesselink holding him off. Options for the Dutchman. McGeady. That's Young. Bamba trying to go in there as well. Bamba almost took McGeady out again. Good ball across. Kenny Miller. Well, Miller almost ended up in the net. The ball certainly didn't. Doris de Vries has the ball in his hands.
Well, that's why McGeady's still on the pitch. He's capable of that there. Bill, just as we were talking about, Paul, I think it is really honest play here. A lot of players would have went down. There's a poor challenge by Bamba. A little collision there for Kenny Miller. I think that's the same. I don't think it's as good a chance as Vinegar Hesselink, but I think there is decent pace in the ball in from McGeady, and I think he's got to score that, Kenny Miller.
It's been 410 minutes, I think, for Doris de Vries that he's not conceded in the Scottish Cup.
If Kenny Miller knocks that back in the narrow side, it's a goal, with Doris de Vries going the other way.
Well, he's taken a bit of a knock, and there's problems here. Tim Wilkinson, the Celtic physio. Craig Beattie's been sent to warm up. Kenny Miller, a bit of communication back to the bench. He'll try and run that off. Nobody wants to come off in a Scottish Cup final.
He's done really well as well, I think, Kenny Miller. He's played well today.
Craig Beattie coming forward too, unused sub in the 2005 final. He'll be itching to get on the field. Kenny Miller returns to the action. McIntyre tries to win the header. Burchell was looking for it. There's McGeady again. Young is strong. Ball gets played forward. Hamill flicks it on. Comes Hartley. On to Lennon. Nakamura. Miller is a pedestrian at the moment for Celtic. Dumby to Nakamura. Presley forward. Vinegar Hesselink tries to knock it on for Hartley. Wilson was a little short. And Dumby with a high feet that time. Just a little handshake there with Scott Morrison. But Kenny Miller is done for the day.
It certainly doesn't look as if he's easing off, is it?
Concern for Scotland as well?
I hope not. We need all the players we can muster.
Well, they certainly appeared just to land that little bit awkwardly and then immediately grab
hamstring, wasn't it, straight away, yeah.
McManus wins the header. The man who would be King McManus tipped to inherit the Celtic armband. So Craig Beattie has been given the nod. Ball forward. McIntyre plays across. Burchell trying to take the scenic route round to see if the ball would pop his way. Boric was there. Naylor on to McGeady. Shield shows him inside that time, McGeady. Away from Young, Burchill comes back. Good play from Dunfermline. Nakamura helping to retain possession again. Then into Presley. Into Nakamura. And the bundle back to Presley. Celtic not finding any way to get through at the moment. Dunfermline getting all 11 players back behind the ball when they need to. Here's with a challenge again. Hartley to Lennon. Kenny Miller still moving very awkwardly. There comes Nakamura. Dumby to Nakamura again. Left foot crossed in. Muirhead couldn't get there. Bamba certainly did, and Hamill will take that past Neil Lennon. Great play from Hamill. McIntyre now making the run. Stephen Presley. Well, he's going to take one for his team there. Yellow card.
Cynical one. I've seen Stephen do it many times over the years in the SPL, and I think he knew exactly what he was doing. There's no way he's going to cope with Adam Hamill's pace. Takes him down.
We've seen that before. Stephen Presley knew there was problems and accepted the yellow card. Celtic's third of the afternoon. Craig Beattie for Kenny Miller. Craig Beattie, the first substitute. 55 minutes gone. And Kenny Miller, disappointment. Scored one Scottish Cup goal this season. Craig Beattie looking to emulate Jackie McNamara as the last sub to come off the bench in a Scottish Cup final and score. And Greg Shields proudly wearing that captain's armband. Hamill plays the ball in. Bamba almost in at the back. McIntyre was a danger too. Bamba sliding in, but Dunfermline unable to test for it.
It's all about delivery. Delivery is absolutely spot on. Little claim for Jim McIntyre, a little bit of pushing.
I think Craig Beattie got his head out of the way quite well there as well. He could have put it past his own goalkeeper. No luck that time for Hamill to keep it in. Well, a lack of goals has been a problem for Celtic. 7 points less in retaining the championship this season. They conceded 3 fewer, but they scored 28 less than last season. Beattie. Bamba does keep it in. And a good Hessling back onto Naylor. Both these teams looking for a breakthrough. Presley. Across the Dumby. Both those players have been yellow carded. Dunfermline may try to make more going down that left-hand side of Dunfermline, the right flank of Celtic.
Yeah, I tell you what, maybe it's because Celtic have played poorly for the last 6 or 7 games, but the crowd, the Celtic section of the crowd are so subdued today, particularly in the second half.
Highlights of the match available tonight on BBC One Scotland. 10:45. Join Craig Patterson and Dougie Vipond for highlights of the Scottish Cup final. It is poised at 0-0. Played under an hour. Celtic with the 2 best chances with Vinegar Hesselink and Kenny Miller. And Fairmont have certainly held their own. McIntyre would settle for the corner, tried to drag it back. He's going to stay in there and then just thump it. Well, really from there you've got to hit the player.
What to do about nothing. But you made a good point there, Paul. Although Dunfermline, they have played well, but you've got to not forget that the 2 best chances of the game are undoubtedly been Celtic.
6 of the last 13 finals have ended 1-0. 3 of the last 7 winners have scored just 1 goal. It could be enough for Dunfermline to win the Scottish Cup for the 3rd time, or for Celtic to make it number 34. Scott Muirhead is down at the moment. Tussle with Nakamura.
Yeah, I think Nakamura thought he should have got a free kick and turned round and lashed out. Maybe too much, but it's certainly a foul.
There's another one of the players on display for Celtic that's won the National Cup competition in his homeland back in 2001 for Yokohama against Jubilu Iwata. Morrison forward, McIntyre looking for it, Bamba goes up there as well, good header away by McManus, back into the box by McCunney, Presley turns it away, Hamill wanted it, didn't break to him, turned away by Burchill, Doumbé sends it back towards Burchill, Burchill goes in for a second time, a good touch away from Hartley, now here comes Beattie. Hamill trying to track him back, Beattie going inside him, good covering challenge across from Greg Shields once more, Nakamura with another free kick. That's 2 or 3 in the second half that the Japanese has conceded, that time taking around Solomon Bamba.
Well, but I think Bamba's been absolutely magnificent, but Celtic do rely heavily on Nakamura and McGeady, and they haven't produced today.
I just wonder which Premiership club Bamba's going to be playing for next season.
Well, he's done really well today, though. There's no getting away from it, really well. Interesting,
John Yorkshire, when he heard that Bamba was mentioning that he may be leaving, this could be his last game, simply said he's got 1 year left in his contract, that's it. De Vries plays it away, good flick on by McIntyre once more, it's Nakamura. Not looked overly comfortable, Nakamura now appealing to the referee for a free kick. Doumbé plays it back onto Presley. Forrest plays it away, Bamba comes forward, wins the header, onto Burchill. Has scored against his former employers before, love to do so again. McIntyre forward, onto Young, takes a little reflection and goes through. Not noted for his goal scoring, normally Darren Young, for a couple of goals this season.
But an hour gone, and there's no changes tactically out of the manager, but I think Dunfermline look the fresher side.
Offside flag just up on this near side. Keith Sorby, one of the assistants, Neil Brand on the far side. Bamba gives the ball away onto Nakamura, again looks up, disappointed his teammates hadn't moved for him. Jean-Joel Perry Doumbé, and over hits things. Burchill, and they knew Lennon was going to slide in there. Celtic at times leaving their passes tantalisingly short. Now here's Naylor, onto Vennegoora Hesselink, Naylor should make the run off him, Lee Naylor goes in! Nobody yet able to beat Doris De Vries in the Tennis Scottish Cup. The latest to try, Lee Naylor.
Well, not such a good chance this time, but certainly the best effort so far. It's a terrific little give and go. This Vennegoora Hesselink is at his best, holds it up really well, flicks it into Naylor's path. Unfortunately on his right foot, but still a good connection. 9
years since he scored in the FA Cup or Scottish Cup. Lee Naylor, his only FA Cup goal coming back in 1998 against Charlton for Wolves. Celtic's ball on the far side. So Lee Naylor, well, he scored in a playoff semi-final, that's probably his biggest goal. Causing problems that time. More conventional source, Vennegoora Hesselink lays the ball back onto Doumbé. Nakamura to Lennon. Burchill comes back to help, ball played in, Shields looked for it, needs to get it away, Muirhead too. Now on to Hamill, Hamill up against Hartley. Hamill somehow emerged to the ball, it's terrific play. Trying to get away from Nakamura now. And slides in, he'll get the free kick. Tell you what, if he hadn't got the free kick against him, he would have taken on the whole Celtic team.
I don't know if it was a free kick, but he certainly deserved a free kick for his endeavours. I don't know how he came away with the ball there. Maybe a little tug, I don't think there's much in it. I think it just slips there. It's not really a free kick.
Didn't look like at that time. He's away playing for the England under-19s. Last weekend they lost against Russia, a match he started. They lost against Holland. And he didn't play against the Czech Republic. But he certainly looks lively. Plays the ball into the box again. McIntyre coming up for it. Does it easily at the moment. Bamba against Beattie on the header fairly. Celtic are looking to make another change. Gary Caldwell, in the semi-final the last couple of seasons, getting ready to come on. McGeady onto Naylor. It's well behind the second that left his boot. Celtic a little frustrated, although it's a couple of Dunfermline players having a little discussion. Shields and Hamill. Bamba remains cool. Does either manager now think about, I'll change my system, I'll change it, I'll try and go for it?
I don't think the Dunfermline manager does. I think they're very, very happy with 0-0 the longer the game goes. You know, they score a late goal. This is a little give and go here. Good stuff again with Doris. If straight at him though. Maybe Gordon Strachan might be thinking about a little change. I don't know what he's going to do with Gareth Hope. Might be a straight swap for Doonby.
Burchill trying to go through. Doonby hooks the ball back. Boric looks a little uncomfortable. I mean, is the onus on the favourites to take the game to the team that were termed the underdogs?
Well, I don't know if Gordon or Pat Halfday said that the two teams are tired. They are tired. There's no doubt Celtic's had a long, hard season.
Stephen Kenny got over his assistant Declan Devine with him. It made a difference after some time, it had to be said. Almost performed the great escape in the SPL. What movie can they make out of the cup final? Bamber solid again on the challenge. $49,610 inside Hampden Park. Young gets in the way, the ball breaks through, Beattie, and Bamba has to go in. That's the first sign of poor defending from Dunfermline Celtic. First corner of the second half.
Well, just allowing it to a little bit desperate there. Was going to go into very good Hesseling's feet there, but again it's Bamba coming across. He has had a terrific game.
Greg Beattie hasn't scored since February. Can he get on the end of Nakamura's cross? Ball came in, McManus came up for the header. I was left disappointed in the end. Neil Lennon's glancing across as we watch McManus coming over. Will Gordon Strachan take off his captain? I'll tell you what, the answer to that question is yes. And Neil Lennon's last Celtic appearance number 304, into them, handing over the captain's armband. If you wanted proof there's no sentiment in football, you've just seen it here.
Well, that's a strong decision from Gordon Strachan. Not one I totally disagree with, but I'll tell you what, he's had a terrific Celtic career, Neil Lennon.
Well, he's won 10 major trophies with Celtic. He may yet win number 11. And Neil Lennon, well, that shows his disappointment. Neil Lennon straight off down the tunnel. You'd hope he'd calm down for a minute or two and then come back and support his team. He may still have to collect this trophy. Nakamura forward. Bamba before Vinegar. Hesseling could get in behind him. Celtic fans saying there's only one Neil Lennon. Now Paul Hartley to McGeady. McGeady trying to find some space. Young with a sliding challenge. Picked up by McCunny. He's been quietly effective. Shields away. McIntyre won the header. And Presley back. Well, it certainly doesn't look like the Celtic side who did so well against Man United. Against AC Milan, they found their way into trouble several times this afternoon.
No, I think Celtic mid-season were very reliant on creativity from their wide players. You know, they haven't performed for a wee while now. Certainly not to the levels they're capable of.
Celtic lost 3 of the last 4 in the SPL, 5 of the last 6 in the SPL. They've lost since March. And they've lost 1 SPL match up to that point. As Doonby looks forward. Nakamura back to him. This tennis Scottish Cup enters its last quarter and it is perfectly poised. Nice ball through Doonby. Really tries to come across there. Well, Wilson got a little bit lucky. Now Morrison passes it through onto McCunny. Neatly done to Muirhead. Here's McIntyre. McIntyre looking for a runner. He's got a willing one. It's Scott Muirhead. Burchill's in the box. The ball played across, but it stretches and gathers. Burchill's run was a good one. Hamill too, if the ball had a ricocheted out. Good take from the goalkeeper.
Well, the goalkeeper did really well, but Muirhead's got to do better with the cross into the box, because you're right, 2 Dunfermline players have made good runs in the box there.
Man of the match this afternoon. There's been several contenders. Yet to be a goal scorer, but if you can agree with Ian's choice and are lucky, you can be watching Scotland against Lithuania. All calls cost 25 pence from British Telecom. Mobiles and other networks may vary. Played forward by Naylor. Beattie, the willing runner, takes on Bamba. Bamba rather jumped that time. Beattie's strong enough to hold him off, and I thought the referee would have let that go and then give the free kick. Well, perhaps not the best decision by Kenny Clark. Here comes Hamill. Ball played in field. Hartley comes back.
I agree with Paul. I thought Kenny, that's exactly what Kenny was doing. That's his first mistake. He's been terrific all day, Kenny Clark.
Here's Gary Caldwell trying to play in the midfield now. Played it out wide. Picked up by Morrison. Well, do the simple things well. Just left it in field for Gary Caldwell. Caldwell trying to play it infield. Good slide away from McCunney. That was Hartley. Not been too many chances, but it is well poised. McGiddy taking on Shields. Finds some space. Plays it through. Bamber. Celtic fans getting frustrated. Dunfermline fans will be delighted so far. Bamba tries to play it forward. McManus almost caught out that time. Burchell almost nipping in behind him. And good play from Dunfermline. They gain a heck of a lot of ground.
Terrific movement by Burchell, but I tell you, smashing pass by Bamba.
Hamill does too much that time. McGiddy robs him. Beatty beside him. Stephen Kenny frustrated that time. Hartley to Caldwell, on to Nakamura. Can Celtic flow now? Nakamura sends it out wide. Doumbé there. Wilson goes across. Celtic have 3 in the box. Doumbé's cross in. Vennegoor Hesselink almost ahead of his man. Good challenge from Bamba again. And turned away by Morrison. That's how to play on the far side. Just some glimpses of the Celtic that we were used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think Gary Caldwell's best position is a sitting midfield in front of a back four. So, you know, he's obviously got more legs than Neil Lennon these days, and Neil's had a long, hard season. So I think it's a pretty good substitution by Gordon Strachan.
So Celtic now have no survivors on the field from the last Scottish Cup triumph against Dunfermline. That played from the start. McGiddy, of course, came on as a sub. Beatty was an unused sub that day, and he's on. Dunfermline will just try and think about freshening things up a little. Muirhead. Morrison plays the ball forward. Presley. Almost caught out Arthur Bonic. Bonic has slipped. Burchell almost took it through, and Bonic got caught, and Mark Burchell took him out. Well, we've seen that before. Go back to Rangers against Dundee United and Craig Brewster scoring.
Well, I cannot believe the first of all the pass back to Stephen Presley, but after Bonic's got to recognise it's a poor, just kick it, get rid of it. You know, even put it out for a corner or for a throw in. Nervous
moments for Celtic. Stevie Crawford gets ready to come on. Scott Morrison goes off for Scott Morrison's 4th appearance of the season. And the Scottish Cup comes to an end. And the only man since the inception of the Scottish Premier League to score over 50 goals for Dunfermline comes onto the field of play, Stevie Crawford.
Just a little change. Muirhead goes to left back. I think Adam Hamill switching wings, and Stevie Crawford's now playing wide right in the 4.
Crawford gets involved in the action. 18 minutes to go. Celtic looking for the double. Dunfermline looking for some redemption for relegation. 9 times in 19 meetings Dunfermline have failed to score against Celtic in this competition. Celtic come up on top of the 13 of the 15 ties. 4 of required replays. Presley plays the ball away. That's Nakamura. Young. Well, Young just taking too long. Beatty in and about him. Digby with a header. Touched on by Caldwell. Better play from Celtic. Infield to Nakamura. Caldwell again. McGiddy. Naylor flicks it out. McGiddy's there. Crawford trying to track him back. McGiddy plays it in. That's a poor ball once more from Aidan McGiddy. The derision comes from the Dunfermline fans.
As a wide player, that's your bread and butter. You know, you've got to, there's no doubt the boys are terrifically talented, but when you get time and space to cross a ball, you've got to put a good ball into that area.
That's the problem. He simply wasn't under any pressure whatsoever.
No, he wasn't. I mean, in that stage you can actually pick people out. When you're under pressure, you just hit good areas, but he could actually pick somebody out there.
Dunfermline send their subs out to warm up once more. Darren Young missed the CIS final with a broken foot. Gets on the ball once more. He's played well. Here comes Crawford. Back onto Shields. Shields with the angle ball. McIntyre trying to get him behind Presley. He won the header. And he got second prize with a side net.
Yeah, I think he's kind of given a foul there for climbing. I think he did. But he's ever so dangerous round that back post from McIntyre. I think he does climb a little bit here on top. You see clearly there he did.
It's amazing to think that he played with the Airdrie in the Scottish Cup final back in '95. I mean, he's had a long career.
He's old. He's an old guy.
Nonsense, he's only 35. Loris de Vries comes forwards. De Vries plays the ball away. Ball through onto Mark Burchill. He needs support though, Mark Burchill. Touches it wide. Hamill's now on that far side. Hamill loses it, can't get in there.
That was when he should have whipped the ball earlier there.
Ball played away. Little touch in. Here comes Nakamura. Infield. Battling for it. Good touch from McIntyre. McIntyre tried to send it through the middle. Hamill was there. A buzz of Celtic players right round him. And Celtic emerge with the ball. We're getting to the territory that one goal might win it. Shields. Perfect timing. You want to see how to make a tackle with a man trying to go on the outside. That was perfect from Greg Shields.
Exactly, Paul. For any SPL fullback that McGeady's given a hard time this year, that's how to play him today. Greg Shields has been outstanding.
Naylor almost cracking into Stephen Kenny. Lee Naylor, 45th appearance of the season. So one little spell out. Vinegar Hesselink, ball played infield. Burchill touches it across. On to Hartley. Hartley to Doumbé. Celtic trying to find a way past Loris de Vries. Nakamura, the Players' Player of the Year, the Scottish Football Writers' Player of the Year, escapes wide on the right hand side, feeds the ball across, and Bamba again. He's been here, he's been there, he's simply been everywhere.
He's been outstanding. First bit of magic by Nakamura, terrific play and difference, great ball into the box. But again, he's just put his body in the line there, Bamba, hasn't he?
Naylor with a throw. Head flick up, McCunney tries to clear it, ball breaks down. Young just happy to stab the ball away. McIntyre onto Crawford. Played it back infield. Here's Stevie Crawford just on as a sub. He's got the legs. Presley had to pull out that. He couldn't risk another yellow card. Caldwell forward. The flag stayed down deliberately. Beattie's going after it. Beattie just kept it in. Good play. Back onto Nakamura. Celtic trying to cut Dunfermline open, but Nakamura, well, don't say it too often, didn't deliver.
Maybe tried to be a little bit too precise there, Nakamura.
Celtic continuing to sweep forward. Nakamura. Well, not quite been his day at times. Kuruski Nakamura, but I tell you what, he's delightful to watch.
Yes, and you know what? He's earned the right to shoot from there because of what he's done over the course of the season. Just gets underneath it there.
Very experienced with Japan. He's played in the Asian Cup last couple of times. He's played in the World Cup as well. He's played on the best stages. Today he's just not acted out the way he would have wanted.
Getting to that stage now, Paul, when nobody wants to make a mistake.
Well, Neil Lennon has returned with a shake of the head. And the Irishman tells you all you need to know about how he felt about coming off. Your head turns. Hands the ball away. A little problem, Jim McIntyre and Stephen Presley. The referee just wants to have a little word with them both. Presley plays the ball forward. Vinegar Hesselink looking for it. Headed away by Wilson. Returned by Nakamura. Down for Beattie. Beattie looking for it. Wilson has to be careful. The ball played back onto Vinegar Hesselink. Good play, Celtic. Here's Nakamura. Played it across. Shields with a header that time. They've held strong. Caldwell trying to get in past Stevie Crawford. Crawford with a lovely turn. Drive forward. Excellent play. by McIntyre. Burchill wants it. Burchill coming forward. He's got Hamill outside him. Burchill holding up. Plays it to the youngster. Adam Hamill steps in. Still going. Played it across. Knocked it away there. He had options. And space is starting to open up on these lush green fields of Hampden. Beattie gets inside Wilson. Craig Beattie driving in. Is this the winner? What an opportunity for Craig Beattie, and doesn't he know it?
Well, it's end-to-end now, isn't it? Dunfermline not really holding a very good line there, and then Craig Beattie leaves. I guess Scott Wilson for dead here, and I thought it was in. Inches wide, but really good positive play with Craig Beattie there.
Well, Craig Beattie played in the 2004 semi-final win against Livingston. That was his last Scottish Cup appearance. He's not playing this competition for 3 years, but what a chance to put a smile on the face of his manager as Dunfermline make the change. Jim McIntyre is withdrawn. He's played well, and Jim Hamilton comes on.
Yeah, it's like for like, isn't it? I didn't think Jim McIntyre was looking tired, mind you. I've got to say that the last touch he had of the ball was absolutely magnificent, the way he plucked it out there.
We mentioned close to the start of the programme this afternoon that the bench of Hamilton and Crawford may prove to be important.
Well, they're both on now. It's a very attacking formation Dunfermline have got.
Stephen Presley fouling Jim Hamilton. Both of them Scottish Cup winners with Hearts, one in '98 and one in 2007. In 1987 it was St Mirren. In 1997 it was Kilmarnock. Will it be another non-Old Firm club? And the year ending in 2007. Dunfermline are trying to threaten Celtic. Hamill flicks the ball in. That could go deep. Turned away right down the middle. A little bit of bagatelle and pinball going on. And Dunfermline have the throw. Dunfermline scored just 7 goals to get to the Scottish Cup final. Jim Hamilton got one of them. Stevie Crawford yet to score in the tournament this season. McCunney looks for them both. Jim Hamilton's yelling for the ball. As McCunney throws it straight to Boric. Now your last chance for man of the match. Certainly some great performers in both teams. Dunfermline's defence is held strong throughout. That might influence your thinking. Hamilton trying to get in there. Presley won the header, breaks down to Hartley. Naylor took that out of play. Well, looked like he took it out of play from where we are. Keith Thorley said no. And Nakamura sends it out wide. Here's Doumbé. Doumbé with a chip across. That should be for Doris de Vries, so I'm not quite sure Solomon Bamba was going out with his hands for it.
Just no pace in the ball, wasn't it? You know, it's a lovely pass out to Nakamura, but Doumbé just far too much up in the air. Comfortable for de Vries.
Celtic have conceded just 4 goals in the last 11 meetings against Dunfermline as Hamilton takes a bit of a sore one there from McManus. Celtic by comparison have scored an 8, a 6, a 4 and 3 times, but today it's not been so easy. And McManus going in, just looking at the hand across there.
Well, I think Kenny Clark's called that right. You know, you might say John Hamilton's made a back for him, but I think that was a foul.
Well, Naylor continues to complain. You don't normally talk that length of time to a solicitor without getting a bill, so you'd be better to move away. Kenny Clark putting his legal training to good use. Hamill played it in, knocked down, almost fell for Jim Hamilton. Well, tamely behind it.
One disappointing thing of the day is that, you know, there's a lot of going with fans, but the quality of the set plays in hasn't been particularly good. Another one under hit there by Adam Hamill.
Dunfermline just scored in 14 SPL matches this season, scored and all but one of the Scottish Cup ties, the 0-0 against Hibs here at Hampden. And they've yet to concede. And as time ticks away, it's looking likely one goal might win it. Celtic have won 3 of the last 4 Scottish Cup finals by the score of 1-0. They haven't conceded, apart from Andreas Skerla of Dunfermline. with a 3-1 win. Caldwell onto Doumbé. Here comes Nakamura. Neatly through. Doumbé coming in. That's great onto Beattie. Beattie, little shuffle of the feet, came off Wilson. The ball's come across and in. It's been stabbed in. And the unlikeliest of heroes, Jean-João Perry Doumbé, on only his 5th appearance for Celtic, his first appearance in the Scottish Cup, has scored the goal that may well win Celtic the 10th Scottish Cup.
Well, a great selection by Gordon Strachan, wasn't it, playing the right back, but lovely little pass first of all by Nakamura, and then Doumbé actually plays a part in the build-up. I thought Beattie had wasted his chance, and then he just throws himself at it, doesn't he? I thought Beattie just held on too long here, gets a little deflection. Oh, and it's a shank, but I tell you what, he could win a cup final.
It's not the most gracious of goals, but the Frenchman has put Celtic in the lead and put the spring into the step and the hip of Gordon Strachan. The double is on. Dunfermline 0, Celtic 1. I have no idea what the price would have been on Jean-João Perry Doumbé getting the opening goal. I think you've got to look at the 50s, 60s or 70s.
I would say 66 to 1.
Well, Dunfermline, well, perhaps like their season, they'll feel a little hard done by. At times you don't mind being beaten by great skill, and though the move was good, the finish was in the questionable category. But the Celtic fans have awoken from their slumber and now sense victory. Doumbé, well, as far as Wilson, and now Celtic, well, they'll put the foot on the brake.
Definitely they'll try and run down the clock, and you know, whilst we've got to give them Dunfermline credit, the game's not over yet. Celtic have had the better chances.
Ball flicked across, Bamba knocks it through. Dunfermline have to go almost from neutral into attack. Crawford forward, looking for Hamilton. McManus looking to Boric. 4 minutes to go. Dunfermline may have to use the third and final sub to change things, perhaps take off a defender. Burchill plays it across, Hamilton tried to stab it back in. Presley impotent there. Dunfermline ain't done yet. McCunney played it in, ball breaks down, onto Hamill. Hamill goes past his man, still going in. Hamill just couldn't get there. Nakamura coming in behind him, but the ball wasn't close enough to the shoelaces there of Adam Hamill.
No, it wasn't. You know, you can tell Celtic are close to victory. Nakamura challenging in his own box.
Well, Celtic really have done well. If you look at the run though, Doumbé, I mean, he meant to be where he was.
I think if the ball wasn't deflected, it wouldn't have got to him.
Agonisingly at the far post. 3 minutes to go. Here comes Crawford. Crawford picks up. 3 years since he last scored for Dunfermline in this competition. As Bamba just gets caught out there. Hartley back on to Crawford, trying to supply the inspiration from midfield. Here's Young. Dunfermline scrambling for an equaliser. McCunney stepping forward. He might have a little go himself. He does so. Maybe an unlikely source for a goal. Jamie McCunney not scored this season, but perhaps just a little measure of desperation there from the Pars.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was a shot or he tried to lob it there. I think it was a shot. I don't think he's got the power to beat Boric from there. But he's had a decent game, Jamie McCunney.
Boric away. A little push that time by Scott Wilson. He has a winner's medal with Rangers. But it may well be a loser's one that's coming to him now. Mark Burchill is being withdrawn. And the man coming on is Ian Williamson. He's not appeared in any of the last 13 matches. The 19-year-old from Edinburgh has just signed a new contract. It's Roy the Rovers stuff now, if he could get a goal.
Substitution for the Dunfermline, number 9 Mark Burchill, replaced by 32 Ian Williamson.
So Gary Caldwell. You look back on things, Ian, the change that was made by Celtic. Caldwell for Lennon. Big moment in the match. Caldwell plays it forward. The Celtic fans continue to sing. Knocked on by McCunney. Here comes Hartley. Lee Naylor. On to McGeady. Trying to battle for it. No room for McGeady. A minute plus stoppage time left. Dunfermline haven't looked likely to get an effort on Artur Boruc at the moment as Bamba is beaten. Here comes McGeady. McGeady plays it through. Vennegoora Hesselink is offside.
Yeah, it's good defending there. They held a really good line there, Dunfermline, and he was well offside. Not like Bamba to miss a challenge today, but just Scot Wilson steps out there and he's 2 or 3 yards offside.
Doris de Vries coming out there. 444 minutes Dunfermline have gone without conceding a goal in this competition. That's 6 minutes from time. Jean-Joel Perrier-Doumbé, who wins the French Cup, may have won the Scottish Cup. And Stephen Presley on the ball will be the first man to win the competition with 3 different clubs. Stephen Presley's not playing defensively at the moment. He's forward available for Nakamura. Enfield on to Hartley. The 90 minutes have come and gone. Kenny Clark, I don't think has indicated to Ian Bryan yet how long to go. Nakamura plays the ball through. Onside for Celtic. The ball should be rolled across. Oh, Beattie was waiting for it. Vennegoora Hesselink took too long. Nakamura. McGeady wants it. Nakamura just holding on. Celtic looking just to apply the final killer touch. McGeady. Back on to Nakamura. 3 additional minutes. Additional time to be played. The Celtic fans don't like that. Gary Caldwell. Naylor. I may be wrong, but Dunfermline do look like a defeated team now.
This is Celtic passing the ball away. I thought Nakamura and McGeady were going to keep the ball for the full 3 minutes there.
Vennegoora Hesselink goes across. Bamba just tries to shepherd the ball out of play. He does so. Well, it's not been Celtic at their best, perhaps. But what we have seen is almost typical Celtic under Gordon Strachan. Even when they're not playing well, they're working hard and they're doing enough. Muirhead. Infield on to McCunney. Shields as the option. Desperately need to get the ball in the box. Williamson gets his first touch. Absolutely nobody near him. That's a decent little ball, but just not enough. And Celtic are just going to wind down the clock. Nakamura with a touch. Caldwell onto the goal scoring hero. He just knocked off Jim Hamilton. Almost the accidental hero on the far side. Doumbé throws in for Vennegoora Hesselink. Tries the turn, just came off the boot of Scott Wilson. Wilson's not happy with Dunfermline. Are going to suffer another defeat.
Well, it's been very kind of streetwise the last 5 or 6 minutes from Celtic, hasn't it? They've kept the ball in the right areas, they've kept it really well, and it looks like they're going to see the game out.
Shitsugi Nakamura with the corner. Slipped it to Beattie. Celtic are 30 seconds away from a 34th Scottish Cup win. They beat Dunfermline in 1965, they beat them in 2004, and now they will beat them in 2007. The throw in, it'll flick down, ball could break, there's a chance for Caldwell trying to pass it in. McGeady, and referee Kenny Clark brings it to a close, and Gordon Strachan does the double. In 1892 the Scottish Cup was the first major trophy won by Celtic. Today the club formed in 1888, won the 88th domestic trophy. The Scottish Cup belongs to Celtic for the 34th time as they complete a memorable Cup and League double, and Neil Lennon will get the chance to go and gather his 11th honour as a Celtic player. The match may not have ended as he wanted in playing terms, but he is the winning captain thanks to that man, Jean-Joel Perrier-Doumbé. Well, unlike last year, where the medals were presented first, we're back to the traditional. The trophy will go first, and Neil Lennon, in his last action as Celtic captain, will lead his side up the steps. He skips up the steps. He cannot wait. Neil Lennon will be the 10th Celtic captain since the war to lift the Scottish Cup. Jackie McNamara lifted the last two. Bobby Evans, Jock Stein, Billy McNeil 7 times. Kenny Dalglish, Danny McGrain, Roy Aitken, Paul McStay and Paul Lambert. The first Irishman since the war to lift the famous old trophy for Celtic. The man who's won more honours on the hoops than even the great Kenny Dalglish makes it honour number 11, this time as captain. A boyhood dream for Neil Lennon. Celtic celebrate the double. Well, if you're going to have anybody carry the cup off, you should have your goalkeeper. The safe hands of Arthur Borwick.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess you try and do something daft, mind you.
Daft as a brush, they say. Lee Naylor gets his hands on silverware. Great moment too for Craig Beattie, Aidan McGeady. But look at the smile of Stephen Presley, the history that he is about to make. He held it up last season as Hearts captain, but what a moment for him. History in the making for Stephen Presley.
Yeah, he deserves everything, I guess. He's worked so hard in the game. And for Paul Hartley, we did the game last year and they won it last year. Great achievement by them.
Jan Vinegar Hessling didn't score this time round, scored in the semi-final. Gary Caldwell, whose substitution for Neil Lennon may have changed it. Listen to the cheer for the goal scorer. Well, you never tire of Scottish football, unlikely heroes. You might have thought Nakamura would supply the winning goal, but Jean Chahal, Perry Dumby, unbelievable.
Well, we didn't know he was going to be playing today. You know, I think there was a lot of talk about maybe Gary Caldwell would play there, but you know what? He got forward well. I thought he had a poor first half, but it just shows you cup final, you can make heroes. You can, you know, did really well.
For tonight's programmes, log on to